I watched this one lady. She's 60 years old. And she says, you know, let me tell you guys about my life. In my 20s, the feminist movement was taking off. I joined it. I went and became a career woman, and I did so well. And all I wanted to do was be better than men, be better than this. And I bought into that philosophy. Today, I'm a millionaire. Today, I'm a C-suite executive. Today, I've been able to have all these shares. I live in a nice house. I have all this other stuff. I don't have a husband. I don't have kids because I bought into this feminism concept. And she's now living in regret.
So she regrets it all.
Because the value of life, you got to invest into things that have depth. Depth is not, I met you, we go home, we have a good time, and then I never call you again. That's just a release. That's just science. That's just biology. But the stuff in life that have depth is a lot of risk. It's annoying. It's challenging. It sucks your energy out of you sometimes. So, you know, she eventually had to figure it out for herself, but it's too late for her. Not necessarily it's too late for her. She's 60, but she definitely doesn't have the market value.
It's too late for her.
It's too late. You're right.
Well, she's not having kids.
Well, she can have kids.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes but she bought into someone's philosophy.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We're buying into someone's philosophy. You know, I'm buying it. You're buying it. She bought it. You buy into the wrong person's philosophy. You lose your life, by the way.
Yeah.
It's gone.
So I'll say this, right? There's philosophy, but there's also facts and truth. And at the end of the day, yes, generally speaking, you can find a way out. However, exceptions don't make the rule.
Yeah.
And as a result, we have to speak in generalities because the general population, they don't know, for the most part, what they're doing. So just to be safe, hey, here's some facts, here's some data.
Yeah.
You make yourself aware and then make a choice for yourself.
Yeah.
We're not saying you have to do what we say. We're just saying, hey, here's the facts, here's the data. You make a choice, but in reality speaking, you can see in real time how women respond, how we respond, and make for yourself a decision based off of that.
And we also always talk about, you know, probabilities versus possibilities. And when we debate with girls, a lot of the times they're so into possible. Like, well, it's possible for me to find my guy and we be a power couple and he's going to accept me and my, you know, masculine attitude, as you would say. When I was like, yeah, it's possible, but is it probable? No. Actually, let's pull up this calculator and see how prevalent this guy is. And we pull up the calculator and it ends up, you know, they have a catback score at the bottom. All these girls be scoring 5 out of 5 catbacks. Perfect. You know what I'm saying? So it's as far as like the delusion goes. So like, is it possible to find this guy that's 6'3", good looking, blah, 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 is going to be monogamous to you, whatever? Potentially. But is it probable? No. And the other thing too is that like as far as like the dynamics you were mentioning before is like women that are power and they very strong or the face of the business or whatever and the husband is the background. Though I've definitely seen those, you know, couples work and it happens every now and then. What I've realized is that most women don't want to be in an authority position when they're with a man. They want the man to lead. Some girls are okay with it, okay, I'll lead and I'll have this guy behind me, but most girls want the man to lead. So we tell guys, listen, just be comfortable being a leader because you're going to be most attractive to a majority of women by being this way. Now, is there a woman out there that will be okay with you being on the backseat? Absolutely. There's always those girls.
There's a challenge with that. Here's a challenge with it.
Yeah, sure.
Is the following. And Adam, I actually got a question for you because there's only one person here that has your experience. And here's what it is. Your experience, you've partied in multiple decades being single. So I'm curious to know what's changed with you in a marketplace. But going back to that, we were talking about what? We're talking about probability, possibility, all that other stuff. Okay. So this is what's going to give you the highest chances. Here's my experience. You give a guy a dating book on how to be a player, okay? Yeah. He reads the book on how to be a player. He reads the game. He's like, oh, you ain't that pretty. Okay, you know, whatever. It's like, oh, wow. Well, you mean I'm not that pretty? I've had better than you. Oh, my gosh. Well, and then all of a sudden, oh, wow, this works. You know, you're calling her stuff that kind of works.
And all that
Man,
stuff,
you know, hey, Mary, how you doing? My name's not Mary. Oh, I'm so sorry. I confused you with somebody else. Who's you? You know, so that, okay, you learned that stuff. Fine. That does it work?
It's not like Pat has ever read that book or knows any of those tactics.
But here's the point, though. Here's the point. If you're acting, eventually people are going to know who the real you is.
Yes.
That's the problem. So meaning, if I have to act like a gangster, but I'm a wanker, I'm not a gangster. Yeah. Then someone's going to who are you, bro? You know, what are you talking about? You ain't that tough. Why are you acting so tough behind closed doors? So you can only do that if it's really you.
Yes.
Eventually, if you're going to be serious with a girl, she's going to realize you kind of are pretty weak. You ain't that guy. So you have to also balance that part out. Then the divorce is definitely around the corner because she married a different guy.
Yeah.
So for me, when I went on a date, before we would act like, oh my gosh, man, you know what? I was just walking by, smelled those roses. Oh, they smell so good. And, you know, I just love flowers. My favorite movie is Notebook. You know, it's just love story. Fake. Listen, what's your favorite movie? Dude, I freaking love Old School. Damn, I love it. Frank the Tank, Frank the Tank, Frank the Tank. You know, what are you doing tomorrow? I got to go to bed.
Don't apologize to me, okay? You apologize to Frank.
So, but the point is, so Jen and I go on a date.
Yeah.
And I'm on a conference call coming back. She's listening to me on the conference call. It was probably the most heated conference call I had. And she's like, who the hell is this guy? And I get off the conference call. I said, listen, if we're going to have series, you need to see all sides of me. This is kind of me. Okay. All right. Let me see. And then boom, we have arguments first week. Not waiting 6 months to have arguments.
Yeah.
Then there's all this other stuff. Like, who the hell is this guy? I said, listen, I can act, but eventually you're going to know who I am.
Yep.
This is who I am.
Yeah.
Do you like it? If you don't, please don't fight it, because this is kind of how I'm wired. And I'm going to get better. So that's the part where I mean, where if a guy tries to act to be like you, 100%. But it doesn't fit, it's not going to work because he's not Myron.
And that goes back with what I was saying before. At the top of the show, I was talking about how, you know, your competence leads to accomplishments leads to confidence, right? And then you got to be congruent based on that swagger that you are, right? You got to be congruent.
Yep.
And girls are able to, like I said before, they're very socially receptive. So they're going to be able to tell, okay, this guy's faking it after they deal with you a bit, right? And that's why it's very important to be who you are and say who you are and don't put on an act. Like, I get it, like some guys have to learn attractive traits or whatever, but that's why we tell guys, become the best version of yourself, because after you become the best version of yourself, you're going to be in the best position where you're going to be the most attractive because you're going to be confident in yourself. And then when you deal with women, they're going to be able to feel that. It's going to radiate off you without you even having to try. And then it's going to be congruent. And then you don't have to purport yourself to be somebody that you're not. It's just, this is how I am. And we tell guys all the time, you need to operate with girls. There is no negotiations. We don't negotiate with terrorists. It's take it or fucking leave it. You know what I'm saying? This is how we operate with girls all the time. We tell them, like, this is how it is. Like, we don't negotiate with women. This is what I'm doing. You can come along for the ride, but I'm not following you. And I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, that's so misogynistic. Oh my God, so womanizing. But what we say, the reason why we say that is because we understand most women, not all, but most women want assertive, dominant man that's a leader that knows what path he's on, and she wants to come along for the ride. There's a reason why 50 Shades of Grey is like the most popular book. It's because that man exemplifies so many different attractive and arousing characteristics that women look for. And if a guy can exemplify that and be congruent to it, you're going to be very attractive to a lot of women. And then on top of that, a lot of women find you attractive. You have a abundance mindset. Your girl's going to be in line because she's going to see other girls looking at you. We know the importance of pre-selection when it comes to women. And I've always said it, when you have other women in line, the girl that you're with is going to get in line. And that's why it's so important to be congruent, like you were saying before.
If you enjoyed this short clip, click over here to watch another short clip. And if you want to watch the entire episode, the entire podcast, click here.